Floss Tube watchers, cross-stitch enthusiasts, quilters, sewers, creative people in general. It's Belinda with Blue Ribbon Designs. I am back today for my 6th Floss Tube video. I'm here to talk about my brand new cross-stitch designs. There are 3 of them. I am coming to you from my sewing room / studio. Probably my favorite place to be in our home. I've had a few questions about the things behind me, mostly stitched pieces and gifts from friends that are special to me, containers of all my trims that I use when I'm finishing. I get a lot of questions on those containers. There's really not much to tell about them. They are what I would call Beanie Baby containers. You get them at a collectibles store to hold Beanie Babies or collectible little stuffed animals or sports memorabilia, things like that. I bought them many years ago and had them in storage in our basement. And I found I was digging through these bags and packages of trims and drawers and trying to find everything. And I was like, I really need some acrylic boxes to put these in so I can see everything. And then I remembered these containers and went down in our basement, dusted them off, washed them off, and kind of divided them by color. They are available in like collectible shops, hobby type shops where you have, collectibles. And I actually have found them the same size on Amazon, and I would have them in my Amazon store. So if you click on the link below, it'll take you there. Buying one is pretty expensive, but when you buy them in a bulk setting, it lowers the price on them quite a bit. But that's the story on these clear containers with all of my trims and things. There are special tins, some framed pieces friends have given me, some of my own designs, bolts of fabric and finishing materials that I use all the time. The bins behind me, I get some questions on those. I've had them for many years. They come from the organizing section of like a Lowe's or a Home Depot. They are 5 bins high. I actually have 10 of them. I have 7 of them across the wall in here, 3 of them in my walk-in closet. I put my linens, my wools, my quilting cottons, my pre-cuts, my kits, all that kind of stuff is in these clear bins so I can see it easily, find what I'm looking for at a glance. Well, that just answers a few questions about my studio, but what we're really here to talk about is the new designs. I have 3 new cross-stitch designs that just came out in the last few days. I should tell you today is July 3rd. It is the late afternoon, evening, and probably the worst time to film because our neighborhood is really proactive with fireworks. And I've got 2 German Shepherds here that are very on alert. So you might hear some fireworks outside. There's a great big air show going on here. So the Blue Angels have been flying over our house today. It's been kind of crazy for filming. But a German Shepherd could run in at any time and say hello. But the new designs came out a couple days ago, and they are available in my Etsy shop as digital download patterns. I mentioned in my newsletter, some of you are subscribed. I've had a couple people email me the same question. These designs are only available through my Etsy shop. They are a digital download format, but I'm happy to print them for you on demand. You just need, and I have a visitor. Hi, bud. This is Garen. So they are available in digital download format. If you would like to have a paper copy, if that is the way you like to work and you would like me to print them for you on demand, same with my last 3 designs, I will do that for you and ship them to you. I add $2 to the price that you see for the PDF pattern because most of these, my patterns are pretty extensive, so they have all the finishing instructions. They're all in color charts and black and white charts, color covers, and they're all full-size pieces of paper. They're all 8.5 by 11, including the cover. That being said, by the time I print them and bag them, I add $2 fee to cover the paper, the ink, the bagging, the time involved. So $2 more per pattern than the PDF, and the exact cost of shipping, which is usually in the $3 to $4 range right now. Shipping is high. I'll put them in a nice heavy duty envelope for you, and they'll get there nice and flat. If that is something that you're interested in, that's the only way you like to have your patterns, I'm happy to help you out with that. Send me an email or reach out to me on social media, and I'll get you taken care of. I wish these were in shops. I've always supported shops. I love shops. I encourage everyone to go visit their local shops. However, for my small business and the cost of professional printing and the bagging and the time and the place to store them, it's just more cost effective and allows me to stay in business by making them available in PDF format. I am definitely not against paper patterns. I have a warehouse full of my vintage patterns that I still ship to distributors and shops that have models. And I will definitely print these new designs for you. It is just not the easiest method for me. I'm not going to keep hundreds of them, thousands of them on hand. I'm just going to print on demand. So other than that, you can go to my Etsy shop. You can find all the designs in PDF downloadable format. And if you have any problems with that, just shoot me a message. I have a quick response that tells you if you're having difficulty, some of the things to try. But it's a pretty seamless, easy way to get your patterns. And I appreciate all of you that have hung in with me and are utilizing this new pattern format. And those of you that have contacted me and said, hey, will you print these for me? You guys are great. I'm just happy to have more designs out in the world. That's truly what brings me joy. So to get these in your hands, that's the route I had to go. So without further ado, let's see the new designs. The first one, which is design 121, BRD 121, is called Sweet Slice of Liberty. It is the first in a series of patterns I'm doing called Rick Rack Rounds. And that is because they are round and they have Rick Rack around the edges. There are 3 that are going to be in each set. This is the first set, Sweet Slice of Liberty. It's in a red, white, and blue summer kind of format. There is the bird on watermelon, a little cottage, and some flowers in a basket. They are 48 by 48 stitch count. These are stitched on 32 count light exemplar by Lakeside Linens, and I use Sulky 12 weight cotton petites, but I also give you the DMC conversion. On the Sulky threads, I've had a few questions on where to get them, the stitching advice, things like that. I ordered directly from Sulky until I started using them professionally. They have a great website. You can also find these in your good specialty cross-stitch shops. You can find them in some of your hobby type shops. They are on Amazon. They are on Etsy, probably on eBay as well. You use 1 strand instead of 2 strands like you would of DMC floss. These are a little bit heavier, and you just need 1 strand in your needle, which I really like. And for those of you who have had some issues with them maybe knotting a little bit or just having problems going through your fabric easier, I use a number 24 needle, and I always thread the end that comes off the spool into the eye of the needle, and the end that I cut off of the spool is the tail. So that might just that's a little tips to help you if you have some issues with it. I don't seem to have any. I love these threads. They lay really nicely. You only have 1 strand in your needle, which really helps out. And I love the storage aspect that the tail of the thread just hooks on the bottom of the spool. There's like a groove there, and it fits in there. So if I don't have a bag handy or a card or some place to put it, if I just have all my spools in a basket, I really like that I can just hook those little thread tails under the spool and keep going. I just like the storage aspect of them. So anyway, these are all cross stitch over 2 with 1 strand of Sulky or 2 strands of DMC floss. These are on 32 count, and the finished size of the stitching is 3 inches, and I cut 3 1/4 inch circles for the finishing. The rickrack is hand dyed by Lady Dot Creates, and the pins are just Dritz pins that I found at a crafting store at a Joann's or a Hobby Lobby, or you can find them online. I'll see if I can put some in my Amazon shop if you're interested in finding them. There is all cross stitch over 2. There are no specialty stitches, no over 1, just all cross stitch over 2, pretty straightforward. You could easily do these without the pins and just have the rickrack around the edges, but I think the pins kind of give it a little, they have like a beaded look, just adds something to these little rickrack rounds. But you could just use the rickrack, no pins, or you could use a different type of trim, put a chenille or a pom-pom or some sort of a lacy type trim on the edges. They would look good on a tin top. They would look good as an ornament, a seasonal ornaments, just round ornaments for ornament tree. You could do tart tins. There's a lot of fun ideas. I put some of them in the chart pack, giving you some ideas of things you could do. You could use multiple colors of pins in each one, switch the pin colors up, do every other one, do red, white, and blue pins for each one. You could not put them in the, I put them in like in the wave of the rickrack, but you could put them in front. You could, there's so many different ways you could spruce these up, play around with them, make them your own. There will be more in this series, and spoiler alert, the ones I'm working on now are for Halloween. So look for more of these fun little rickrack rounds. This new little series I'm doing, it's seasonal, it's holidays, it's in my style, and just fun, quick finishes. I wish I would have had these out for you guys just a little bit sooner, but just some stuff going on here, and just been doing a lot of focusing and kind of reflecting, and it took me a little bit longer to get these out than I really wanted. But this is Sweet Slice of Liberty. It's Blue Ribbon Design number 121, and it is available in my Etsy shop. The next one is called Pink Positive. There's been a lot of talk about this design. It was originally a fundraising design. I was with some really special people in my life doing some 60-mile 3-day Komen walks for breast cancer awareness, and I was doing fundraising designs for each time we had to walk because we had to raise quite a bit of money. This was a fundraising design I did, and it was out quite a long time ago for that. It was only available to people that made a donation, and I had a lot of enthusiastic response to this, people wanting it in my regular line. They weren't stitching at the time it originally came out, or they didn't want to donate to that particular cause to get the pattern. So I decided to release this into my current line. It is a Blue Ribbon Design signature sampler where you can stitch part of it, half of it, a section of it, all of it, do a small section and frame it, do a little piece for a bowl filler. You could do scissor fobs, needle books, any smalls, people that like to do smaller stitching or have less time. If you just wanted to do a little area and frame it, that is my favorite way to design. I love things that have a lot of different options, and definitely things that stitchers can change up colors or change up sizes, make them their own. I decided to finish this as one of my wall hangings. The instructions are included in the pattern for the wall hanging. It is stitched on 35 count linen colored fabric by Weeks Dye Works. Linen is not the type of fabric, but actually the color. The color is linen, and it's on Weeks Dye Works hand-dyed fabric. I used Weeks Dye Works cotton floss, but I give you the DMCs, so the conversions are there. It uses several stitches. You have cross stitch over 2, cross stitch over 1, which is extremely limited. The cross stitch over 1 is the doorknob on the little cottage and the year that you stitch it. But other than that, it's cross stitch over 2. There are some Smyrna cross stitches in there and some back stitching, and diagrams for all of those are included. And then to show you kind of how you can do just certain sections of this sampler, I used this bluebird down here to do a pin pillow, and that design is also included in the pattern, and it gives you finishing instructions to make this little pin keep. The little pin keep has Lady Dot Creates hand-dyed rayon ribbon around the perimeter. You could ruche it, you can ruffle it, you could put pins to hold it in place, you could use beads, you could use a different type of trim altogether and put rickrack around it, or chenille, or pom-pom trim, or maybe not put trim on it at all. The back of it is linen, and that's just how I finished it. If you want to put fabric on the back of it, it would be really cute. There's lots of little things you could do to make the little pin keep special. But that's just kind of show you that you can use the different squares in my samplers to make other projects. So that is Pink Positive. It is design number 122. It is also now available. The other design I have today is called Sunlight Seeds and Scents. It is design number 123. It is a Garden and Herbs signature sampler. The larger sampler, this time I have it framed. It was professionally framed in Iowa for me. This design is stitched on 28 count platinum Cashel linen. It's a Zweigart fabric, Zweigart Cashel. Since it is 28 count, it made it a little bit larger in size for me. The 28 count is about 8 inches high by 11 inches wide, so you can probably get a pretty standard size frame for it, but I have all my pieces I have professionally done, so I can pick out different moldings. But I'm guessing if you're out and about looking for a frame, you'll be able to find a frame for this. Again, it is a Blue Ribbon Design signature sampler where you have all these little sections that work into one big one. These would be great as little bowl fillers, little pillows, needle books, scissor fobs. You could do all sorts of fun little things with the different motifs in this design. It uses cross stitch over 2, back stitching, just a few French or colonial knots, whichever your preference is, and a Smyrna cross stitch. And diagrams for all of those are found in the pattern. It is stitched with Weeks Dye Works cotton floss, and again, as always, I have a DMC conversion included for you, so you can switch up those colors easily. And I've also done some needlework smalls that come with this, and the finishing instructions are included for the needlework smalls. And for the first piece, which is the scissor fob, I used the little bunny and this little potted plant. And for the Pins needle book, I used the little bee-scap up above, and I used some various motifs from throughout the sampler, so we'll show you those. So first off, the scissor fob has a cute little bunny on one side, has the little potted plant on the other side. It is twisted cord that I made with DMC floss, and 2 little pieces of hand-dyed twill tape that I cut and tied at the top and the bottom so that it would just kind of coordinate a little bit better with the other piece I did. I like to leave, I use 6 inches of cord for the loop, so fold it in half. It's about 3 inches long, DMC floss. And then for this other piece is a new type of finishing I just designed. I'm calling it a Pins and Needles Keep, like on pins and needles, but Pins and Needles Keep. It's a flat base. It has the pins on one side with the B-skip, the pins are around the perimeter, and the back is the needles side. So you have your pins and needles all in one place. This is just a piece of wool, felted wool, and I've just attached it on in the finishing process. There is twill tape going around the perimeter on each side and kind of tied in a little bow at the top. And this is just a golden colored jute I had on just on a spool that just matched well. And then I used golden pins. And you could do it without all of those features and just put your pins in the sides without any trim. Or you could just do the twill tape, or maybe some ruched ribbon would be really cute around the edges of these. But I think this pins and needles keep is something I want to do more of in the future. I had a lot of fun designing this, putting it together, and just utilizing both pins and needles on one flat card. The finishing is definitely what's fun and inspiring for me, hence the Rick Rack rounds, this new little pins and needles keep. Those are the things that, you know, just get me excited about cross stitching and finding that new way to put things together. But I think that's all I have to share with you today. I don't want to make this too long. I am filming a tutorial video for the Rick Rack rounds. It will show you specifically how to put these together, how to put the backs on, the Rick Rack in, put it all together. It'll kind of like my under my wing pincushion video that I did with the tutorial. I'm doing one for the Rick Rack rounds. I actually took this basket piece and I changed up the colors of the flowers a little bit and the colors of the Rick Rack and the pins just to do something different, show you guys another way you can utilize these little round patterns. And I will be filming that maybe later today. I'm hopefully in the next week it will be up. And it will give you good finishing instructions if you want to make these yourself in this style. So other than that, it will probably be after the 4th of July before you see this, or on the 4th of July. But I hope you have a wonderful 4th. You get to spend time with your friends, your family. You get to see fireworks, have great food, and just really take in the summer season. And I will be back soon to share my finishing tutorial and more fun things with you. Thanks for visiting with me, friends. I appreciate all of your love and support and the enthusiastic messages you send my way. You really make this a dream come true for me. So thank you all for supporting Blue Ribbon Designs, and I will see you soon. Bye.